curious about, have you looked at Indian psychology by any chance? The way in which the Indian psychology is different from and similar to the Western psychology by any chance you had a chance to explore?
I have not looked very much into it, and I've read probably at one time or another big chunks of the Yoga Sutras, but I haven't studied the text very deeply. I will say one thing, which is, you mentioned, oh yeah, people in the past didn't have therapy, et cetera, all these monks in the past. But I think that's not quite entirely true, because though it may not have been conceptualized as therapy, right? What was the path? The path was you leave home and family, you go join an ashram of some kind, and there you have a guru. Right. And your guru becomes your kind of parent, your mother, your father, your everything, right? And anything that comes up would probably be told to the guru. It's a kind of therapeutic relationship, whether or not we can call it that, whether or not they had the Freudian conceptualizations of sexual processes or not. Still, there was a kind of confessorial relationship, right? The same thing in the Catholic Church, you have the confessor idea. So these therapeutic ideas do run very far back. The exact ways of conceptualizing what's going on may be somewhat newer, but the fundamentals of having a special relationship with somebody which is relatively confidential, where you talk about things where you might not otherwise have a space to talk about them, I think runs back a very long ways and probably benefited a lot more people than we know,
I completely agree. As a matter of fact, in the Catholic tradition, they talk about the dark night of the soul and the whole idea of working with the brotherhood or sisterhood and the processes that they go through when they become the monks and the nuns. And I have had an experience to work with a group of multi-religious people over several years who were in various spiritual traditions. So we did look at the psychotherapeutic processes that are embedded in various spiritual traditions, whether it is a ashram or whether it's a nunnery or whether it's a church. I think there are these kinds of developmental processes that are done. They may call it philosophical approaches to looking at it, but you are right. It is extremely important for the development and the attachment and the desires and working with a person's evolution is something that is addressed despite the fact the Western psychotherapy or psychoanalysis is considered to be not necessarily same or accepted in the same way. These are very much part of development of a person. Whether they become a monk or whether they become a doctor or a CEO, it doesn't matter.
That's right. I agree.